here in Oka, Anambra Broadcasting Service. Welcome to Ask the Commissioner, the platform where governance meets the people and your questions shape the conversation. Today on Ask the Commissioner, we delve into critical issues of urban planning, development, and control. And joining us today is a key figure at the heart of this development. That is the Managing Director of the Anambra State Physical Planning Board. And of course, our very own High Chief Dr. Lomefo, the Commissioner for Information, joining us today to take a critical look at the State Physical Planning Board. How well they've gone and some of the things or challenges they face in the discharge of their duties, and many of their landmark achievements as well under the administration of Professor Chukwuma Soludo. My name is Priska Wanko. Welcome to Ask the Commissioner.
Mbo onye kachukwu gochukwu ya natakwa gị nso na ya bihe mmemme Ask the Commissioner nas na atato kwa ndu wewulukpo na nketa ata anyị ga-anọzi ọfụma ka anyị wee malụ etu otu bọọdụ na-ahụ maka ewumewu si wee na-alụ ọlụ na nakwa usoro dị iche bụ nke ha wepụtara iji wefu na mụ na gị bụ ndị Anambra na azọ ụkwụ n'ebe dị mma ka o wedara anyị niile na mma ị ga-esonyere anyị dịka ya bụ ihe mmemme na-abịara gị n'otu aka ahụ. Ọ dị mma onye nke anyị ga-anọkwazi n'ọgbọ na efifesa abụọ Barrister Chike F. Mmadụekwe onye bụ Managing Director Anambra State Fiscal Planning Board na Anambra State. Na-asị gị nọ n'ihe mmemme tata.
And of course, just like I stated earlier, we also welcome the Commissioner for Information, High Chief Dr. Lomefo, to the studio as well. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome back to Ask the Commissioner.
Yeah, Dalu Ndeba iko chinya zeleno. Katata bala na yemo.
Odimma onfolo no zobo nke nakwazi n'etiti anyị ga-esokwazi wee macha intenda ife niile wee na-aga kedu onye na-ekwu maka Chief Amụlụ onye na-ego onye nwe nakwazi n'ọgbọ n'ụbọchị tata wee na-asị gị nnọọ n'ihe mmemme anyị.
Ndị banye ekele eme ya ka onye chinya zeleno gana anyị tinye.
Alright, just like we stated earlier, today our spotlight is on the Anambra State Physical Planning Board. We're here to look at planning board essence, enforcement, and of course compliance. That is why we have the Managing Director of the agency with us here in the studio to give us insight into the different activities of the Physical Planning Board Ministry agency so far. Barrister, I would like to start with getting an overview of the activities of the ministry. Of the agency rather, under the board, Physical Planning Board, under Professor Chukwuma Soludo so far.
Okay, thank you very much. Physical planning, you know, is continuing at the most elementary definition. Every space to be optimally used must be planned. So we plan Anambra State. We're in charge of development control. When we plan over the state of Fuma, you'll find out that the state will develop in a haphazard manner. And that's a recipe for building slums and so on and so forth. So, under Governor Chukwuma Soludo, we have aligned ourselves with his main agenda of building a livable, prosperous homeland, which, when we talk about it, he emphasizes that Anambra should become a very, very smart megacity. Again, in doing that, he emphasizes the fact that it will be technology everywhere, everything technology. Under him, we've done quite a lot. Let me say that one of the challenges in Anambra, I think it's also in most parts of the country, is impunity of people who don't want the state to be planned properly. So you find developers start building. They don't come for permits according to the law. The law says you must have permits before you can develop anything, including a fence. The law also says that even when you want to demolish your own building, you will need a permit. So the law regulates what you do in terms of planning, everything you do. And there is what we call the National Building Code, requires state certification. So each of you do know. Every water go approval, it got better to us. Each I set out here. You will a certain level, a lintel and so on. If you get forever, it must be approved. In the past, maybe those things were not really strictly followed. But recently, under Governor Soludo, we are now insisting that the state certification must be, observed. And that's why recently we formed what is called the one-stop shop. The one-stop shop is a committee of all the heads of the professional bodies in the built environment in Anambra. So you have the Nigerian Institute of Architects, you have the Council of Registered Engineers, you have the Institute of Structural Engineers, Nigerian Institute of Builders, Nigerian Town Planners, the surveyors, and everyone coming together. We meet twice a week. And what they do when we come is we take a look at all the building plans that have been submitted to the Fiscal Planning Board, especially complex buildings. They review the plans, and then second visit in the week will be fiscal inspection of those projects. And I can say that the objective is to mitigate this unfortunate incident of collapsed buildings. In Anambra, in the past, although that the issue of buildings collapsing has been substantially mitigated. But you also find out that those buildings begin to collapse, especially during the rainy season. And our intention is to make sure that even if we cannot completely eliminate building collapse, because there are human factors involved, you bring it down to the barest minimum. Well, can you say about Mama, if I was on the radio, can you expand?
Fiscal planning is essential for sustainable development. Discuss. So when I'm going to say to our team, each one to board this when I roll, each automato, even being analogous na bubulu. Can you call this when you're Anambra State aka na nepetolato?
Well, I'm not super like you do. So I do myself vibrate. However,
okay, yes.
There are lots of ways fiscal planning can promote sustainable economic development, infrastructural development. I'll take one example. The Fiscal Planning Board has responsibility for granting right of way.
Okay.
I don't know if you understand what right of way is, but right of way in the context I'm talking about is right of way to telecommunication companies to provide the digital highway that connects our people to the global digital economy. So we've done that. As I speak, one of those telecommunication companies is connecting fiber, what is called FTTH, fiber to the homes, various parts of the states. What does that do? It's globally accepted that the best and the fastest internet speed you can get is via broadband. So when this, and it's through fiber. So they are laying fiber across the state, connecting to homes, connecting to towers. There's what is called fiber to the tower, fiber to the homes. If, for instance, you're in an estate and they connect to your estate, what it means is that some of you are paying heavy subscription to some other companies that were around, providing you internet access, providing you with the programs you watch on TV. I don't want to mention anybody.
Yes.
But once you have this other service in your home, even if there are 30 people in your home, all of them can use that service to make calls, to download data at speeds that you've never seen before. Now I'm sure when you are downloading things, you are familiar with. Once you click, after a while the thing will start going around and you have to wait. You can even go and begin to cook in the kitchen and come back and it has not downloaded. Now the National Economic Council, working with NCC and the governors, agreed that everybody must try to conform with the national broadband policy. And the broadband policy is looking at ensuring that it's not just those viable capitals that are connected, but also that these services reach what we call the underserved areas, so the rural area. Because even the businessmen in Kitts also are not going on the Chanaka and everybody. But government's policy, all Nigerians should have access to it. What does it do? I only see Governor Soludo Kumaka telemedicine. Telemedicine, Amaka, because what it also means is that you can do complex surgeries in any part of Anambra, be connected to broadband, with doctors in the US or UK, because they can't come down on the cost to reduce the cost.
Yes.
Anyway, basically, every doctor who is skilled, we are what to do. You can do smart education. Commissioner is just coming from where they launched the lens, solution lens.
Okay.
And that's a platform to inform the mother if a government never key into it. That information cannot happen if you don't have high-speed internet connectivity. So, and when we launched many years ago, when we started this broadband thing, it was an international conference, and many of our people who reside in Lagos said that once they are sure they will go broadband and high-speed internet here, no one will run on a Lagos and buy, because it's cheaper for them to live here, they are closer to their people. So the economic, the phenomena, the economic benefits of that, and that's just one aspect. But without high-speed internet, you can't. People cannot connect to the global economy. But luckily, again, under Governor Soludo, we collaborated with the federal government, and right now, we go free Wi-Fi service in the main market, and it's the radius is quite wide. So if there is Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi. When you take them can connect to Indian supplier in China, but once you do, I was in Telegram, until Telegram. Now you can do things at the speed you do, so you won't even believe it's possible.
All right, and this is still Ask the Commissioner right here on the Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS 88.5 FM, and we're still with the MD of the Anambra State Physical Planning Board, and of course the Commissioner for Information as well. We're looking at some of the activities of the State Physical Planning Board and different things they do, and why it's also important that every Anambra needs to comply with their rules and regulations. Now, talking about rules, regulations, directive, now the Physical Planning Board does a lot of things, but what I would like to understand is, people know that there are certain things that they need permission from the Physical Planning Board before they start embarking on, like structures or setting up structures in certain locations that is not, they're not given approval by the Physical Planning Board. Now, would you say that people have the right information, or some people are used to cutting corners? And what do you guys do to some of these defaulters? There, Anabo, Ekucha, no twist game me for Hamicha, he may kick a hammer, Kidian more than that.
Well, the law provides if I get never. Man, Kedi Zokurona, it is work one day, Gabavamachali again. But I'm on ABS and I'll be as I'm doing up with Uncle. But it's not even a laughing matter, because many of the people who contravene these laws are those that you expect should know
better.
The people that the ordinary citizens are looking up to now, having the big men, they are the majority of them, and then Ijebi don't know. Now, it never commercial effect, because planning also means now in a master plan, even though we still need the state master plan, but many of the cities enable master plan. So when you come to a particular area, you zone it now residential, the other place commercial, then a mixed use.
Okay.
But you find people, what you want to see CFO residential. The next one, we put a factory here. India, on an argument. India, because what we do, we go around. If we see that somebody's building he has not been given approval, because when we give approval, the process of approval is also to confirm that what you want to build is appropriate for the space.
Exactly.
So I'm not doing the man room. Some of them are catching the I'll give you an example. There was one somewhere in North. The person came to us, and maybe trying to follow a road, and you can't do it. Or catching it, and then watching the talks, would you ever? I work here. You go to a point where one are choosing to make decking, and he had put over 100 shops. Of course, we have to do enforcement and go there and level the whole thing. No matter fair, has here the government the wicked, government had the wicked, because before you came any demolition, the person must have been served notices, stop, remove. I'll give you another example. Madugapota, right of way of transmission company of Nigeria, TCN, for this high tension, even a 330 kVA wire, more than I won't on that. If you're saying I will now, any phone can get virgin, what the guy wrong about the person. I had to bring, for instance, on one occasion, Nambuko Bosi, because there are lots of those illegal structures in that market. We brought the people from TCN to come and do a presentation to show them now abroad the problem, but that the emissions, the agent also those places, those things are not fair, but it's something that is so injurious to your health that over a long period you begin to see that so. In fact, when we go to that presentation, I saw one young man when I came to see me from there, no boy. Now the short road we have bambam as zinc. Now we are chasike. We met to that in our shock. Not to talk of the fact that if one of those things snap, that everything on his path will become it will be burnt completely, and everybody there will only have dust. So you tell them, they don't agree. It is a if you pass some of these people are now protect on Facebook, now say, the government is missing money. Government exists to secure the maximum safety and benefit of the greater number of our people, not for the big men. You know, so we are trying our best. Of course, we may not have enough money to do everything that we need to do, but within the resources anyway. And all because of also to make sure now optimize our service, we do this one-stop shop. Most of those people known at the one-stop shop, the same people who formed the panel of inquiry at the last building collapse. So now we have brought them, who so can see any building collapse, at least came in the minds now because all sorts of things can happen, and then of course the soil of the state, peculiar soil here and there, which is why if you don't do anything, I see the soil test. If one do modify the soil test, or you know, can you now look at my local? Can you not see the soil test? You know, anyway, federal government, the compulsory insurance. It's like motor. In our motor, each of you make comprehensive, you must do third party. Even when a third party, a mega arrest. Now I insist, you must do insurance. So that if a building collapses, at least there are certain things insurance can cover, including when they were there. Now people want to anywhere they work, now the parents or family of victims. Maybe a small event, but now you have to insure so that when anything happens, you will be held responsible for insurance and for what that does is that every developer now is more careful. So too many things, but at the end of the day, you only see there every percentage of every space in a map that must be green. Trees, you know, green area. Because you some places in Ghana, in our one that must go, Africa came. Okay. Yes, these things are the same thing. If you observe it, it will happen. So the planning is so important. Another unfortunate thing, our staff go and do their work. People are work after up, FIFA. And most of our staff are women, so you can imagine when women come to work, people beat them up, carry their. I'm happy when Martin here goes on enforcement with us, and he has seen some of those things. But Governor Rogan, anybody may to any civil servant, we apply maximum punishment. On one occasion in Ojoto, not only that the people beat up the staff, that day, oh man. They knelt them down without even did some things I can't see here on the on air. Of course, we had to go to the place, get the man, apply the appropriate punishment, and that building, because it was an illegal structure, was brought down to we leveled it. And I want to beg in Anambra, use this opportunity to beg in Anambra. And only says like I general Sunday mother. You no doubt about what you need to do. Come to us. Each regional local government, because we have offices in all the local government secretariats in the state. Open each region, maybe if you're in the Biana headquarters, it is one each for MD or chairman. And we will try to assist you as much as we can. But that will be within the law. My name is that sister, each other, if follow the law, if it's physical.
Okay, the Commissioner for Information, I think this question is for you. Now, based on what the chairman of the Physical Planning Board has said so far, it's clear that actually sometimes demolitions happen when people do not comply with the directives of the board. Now, when these demolitions happen, there is usually public outcry. people are always coming up with narratives, counter narratives. So what I would like to understand, on the part of the Ministry of Information, how do you shape public perception and correct misinformation around this public outcry? Because I remember the recent one, I think at Navy, something happened. Some agenda was now flying that is targeting wealthy men, some women, people, that are targeting specific people. So in terms of public perception, what does the ministry do to correct all this misinformation and perception of the public during these incidents?
Thank you for that question. Yes, the ministry tries to get in the Anambra to understand the need to comply with the fiscal planning board. And you said that demolitions take place sometimes.
When people don't comply now?
Sometimes, the way you put it, there is a demolition that takes place without notice.
Okay.
Even the one that took place in the Navy, there was due notification, and many complied, some didn't. So I wanted the exercise to be postponed, even to after the governorship election, for reasons best known to them. But you see, the job has to be done. And I notice that our people don't even believe that the government has any right or power to regulate their building behavior. And like the chairman of the board, has said, you have something like the National Building Code. It's a law. And if your building is encroaching on what we call a right of way, like he has said, there is a setback that is fixed by law that must be observed by the builder. Otherwise, that portion that encroaches upon the right of way, I think it's either 45 meters or 25 meters, I'm not too sure now, right? Anything short of that, you're encroaching upon the right of way, are set out by the national laws, not even an Anambra law, as a matter of fact. Our people don't believe that. Some people will come and set out their fence. You see the fence clearly on the road. And they should know. And even when cross-checked with other fences around their own, you see that theirs is protruding into the road. And they do because they believe they have the capacity, the power, maybe to bribe authorities or to frighten the enforcers off. They forget that one day, the Pharaoh that does not know Joseph may come and the story will change. So we try to tell people about this, and beyond the need to really comply. It's also important that we understand the philosophy behind behind the planning in the first place. We are aiming to transform Anambra. That is the dream of Professor Soludo. Transform Anambra into one smart megacity, right? It cannot be without planning. It's impossible. And we don't want to gain a reputation as being one of the most chaotic cities in the world. It's not a good reputation. If you go to a place like Onitsha Main Market now, you can practically not be able to plan anything there anymore because people have built up all the spaces, including the car parks. Such things must not be allowed to continue. Otherwise, Anambra will end up like some cities of the world that have gained some reputation as being the dirtiest, most chaotic, and all that. And we are doing the public enlightenment, bringing the MD Fiscal Planning Board here is one of our efforts to get our people to understand what is going on. That no matter where you build, even in your father's house, you need to get approval. This is very, very important. People build without any form of planning, without any form of approval, and in doing so, in some cases, deliberately violate what they ought to know to be encroachment upon the general space, and so on and so forth. I'll leave it here, but I want to say one thing. It's a bit different. Those of us who wrote JAMB, our children wrote JAMB, right? And our JAMB results, the entire southeastern Lagos have been cancelled and rescheduled for retaking by tomorrow, Friday. We are going to issue a formal statement. Please, Indigwe, you have to help us. PGs, you have to help us. You need to mobilize the town criers. Let them tell our children who wrote JAMB that they have to retake. Very, very important. We will issue a formal press statement to that effect. But this one is also information. Thank you.
Okay. Ọ dị mma m ga-akpọbata Ichiam wee na-ego ka o meela anyị majik dịfa wee banyezi mepe ekwentị maka ndị na-agba abụ.
Ndị be ihe n'ime unu ya na mbụ ndị kwuchara okwu nchasị na-esi n'ọdụ ama ife dị nkịta mma unu n'anya na-apụ okwu anyị ji bata taa dị unu afọ na ọgbaala agbaị bịa bụla ezigbo akpụ okwu kwesịrị ka agbalie ya nke ọma dịka imirikiti ndị banye ha aghọta okwu oyibo ka m were m asụsụ Igbo tokere ụmụazụ nwantịntị kpee ụmụnne m n'Igbo gee ntị ọfụma eyi onye nọ n'etiti anyị taa dị bụ Ọga Kpatakpata Anambra State Physical Planning Board ọ bụla Ogbueshi Barrister Chike Efu mmadụ ekwe ọ bụrụ ọkwọ aba mmadụ afa ụfọdụ aghọtafie ya mmadụ ekwe na ngwa okwu n'unu ga-ekwerịrị nke o kwuru unu ajụzụ na kedu ife kpatara na ndị be anyị kpabara ego kpaba ego kpachasị ego Chineke nna gọziri anyị nke ọma ọ bụrụzie idobe iwu ka anyị ga na-ada kwamgbe ego akpazie anyị ụfọdụ n'ime anyị ọnọdụ amamife ekwuo etu a ga-esi lụ obodo ka obodo dị mma ụfọdụ asị mba na alụrụ ụlọ ya alụkọrọ ma na onye agbata obi ya kpọtụra n'ọba ego ka ọ ga-eri unu asụsụ na asụsụ dị etu a nne m na anụgo eyi onye ga-alụ unu ya gba mbọ funu nwere akwụkwọ ikikere ka a hazieri ya etu ọ ga-esiri onye bụ unu nke ọma ndị bụ ndị ji anyasị alụrụ ọrụ chasịa ọ dịka majik na chiefo afụ na-arụchiena ma ụwa mmiri arụ ọrụ ụka rụchie ụwa mmiri ebe dị iche iche a na-asụ oyi n'anya mmiri dozie oburu afịfịa wee sụkọ n'obodo sọsịa n'okporo ụzọ ọkwọ agha atịtị ka anyị bidoro wee nụba soludo wee na-anụ agha atịtị na-ekpocha na agwọcha ọnụcha wee burukwa ebe dị mma mmadụ ịbata okuwe ume ndụ ijezie okpoko kịta okpoko ada azazi okpoko ife ha na-azazi bụ new heaven maka gịnị maka na solution olugo okpoko nso bịa na arụrụ ụmụnne m na-aghọtakwa ife anyị na-ekwue iwe wee na unu na ọ bụrụ na o nwere onye lụchiri ụlọ okporo ụzọ ewee nye akwụkwọ ịdọ aka na ntị wepụ ya na etu ị kwesịrị isi rụ ya mgbe ọzọ ị ga-arụ bịa n'ọfịs weta akwụkwọ ka enyere ya aka ka ife wee na-aga nke ọma ndị na-ahazikwa n'obodo a bụ ndị jere obodo oyibo chuo obodo oyibo ka a na-echu mmiri gụọ akwụkwọ n'obodo oyibo ụdị m na-ama mbem amara m mgbe n'obodo oyibo gbuo ọja n'obodo oyibo wefukwa ka obodo oyibo dị nye kpatara nji sonyefe na-akọwa ka ọ na-aba mana unu mezina ka ọ dị ka ya sị na ntị ya na-agwa ya ejuna unu adazina iwu ụmụnne m unu anụgo eyi a sị m onye pụtụrụ ụtụtụ ya kene Chukwu ikene Odenigbo gọvanọ ọkammụta Prọfesọ Chukwuma Soludo ka anyị Soludo ka ife wedela anyị ma ụmụnne m ya gazie n'ọfọ amụrụ
ịmara ibe na ọ na-aba na mmụọ idere ka ịkpọfe n'oge na okenye na aka nji osi ga-anatara agaghị ike wee menye igwe okwu maka ndị mmadụ nwere ajụjụ nwedị na flash mana flash na anyị biko ị ga-akpa anyị akpọ ka iwe sonyere anyị n'ife mmemme anụnwa akara ekwentị ndị nke ị ga-akpọ bụ 0706 538 1320 0706 538 1320
Mobile 0808-487-2166 0808-487-2166.
Okay. Onye nke apụgo.
Okay, you nwekwa ike isonyere na Facebook. Ị gaa na Facebook ị chọọ Anambra Broadcasting Service.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
I think of the East.
Champions.
I'm a million.
After the visa ban.
I'm a yes, my mother, on a room not.
May what was no?
Because you may put me out, you have made good very important. Oh, and I'm off our chat, you know, when you go to check. And the one. The bunny will make a say, oh, yeah, I can't get out. I'm about. I go with the good. When you make my call, will it? The animal, young woman. Abambo, and the banning again. So, what so many places, we are in jail. So, what's going on one day, 6 feet? And you need now, although I'm a call. That make it only. Oh, and get down on the chat, and all the corner and can die last year. That you may trust you could think camera. When I like you, every government to here. Don't let corner I can buy your mama. The Banya made. It's in Dana, you can also say, you try to make each other within one day. Oh, no. About that, government here with you. No, I'm not going to come. About who, not that. Government here will ever find any of the economic.
No.
Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Marlon.
No.
Like other people like people. Which are you because some of my friends. One to the color now, you go to the Jalaka could go to mother. If I watch a joke, not joke. Then I'm going to ask Colonel or one girl who could see enforcement, going out some joke with it. Got about you to end the video or the Patalago alone. Then that, and therefore, this one of you may do, also known as you alone have some mother. No one who knows Jaloka with the example. And only one or two of my friends. Of course, my Mataloyan call that I can all the which are only. So I said that the pandemic not the use and what I say you just what you the other guy until I look and give. There are no just guy, everyone the cost and then I tell no one. The guy will really here. The kind of people like that. And the political only to be against opposition. So it's kind of me or matter like that. One after one I say, I children are me, I know.
Thank you. Okay, hello.
Hello,
If you're my can I find a visa ban?
Hey, Comedian, you know, that kind of song. But I am a school, but you know, it's up to where I can't say.
Well, I need to know.
Because look, oh, when I'm all last. And then what I'm area. I didn't get in that area, who didn't know. Oh, one said the boy, let's do over. Well, we had here, millions of America to put out idea to put up a people. Nada. Oh, when they get the market, Dalgona, over Aruba, or the Kawan Nat, and I think they are good. Not a the market, Aruba. And the royal for there, they made the 11 teacher.
Amen. That is a fluga.
Okay. So yes.
Okay. Political and most of these people are cover the simple thing our local planning authority the right thing, please come to the headquarters. When a problem they just sit down and talk, without responsibility, no go bribe. Indeed, as I was saying, give me evidence of it so that I can work on it. Also, give me actually trouble and all. So how do I now punish such a person if you have refused to provide evidence of whatever? I think also everyone encourage you to use self-help more to go and mobilize youths. If you see something, say something.
Say something, yeah.
Because either petition. The laws in either petition, they got 35,000 to government. They got everyone pay direct. We will send people to investigate. We will act. It depends on the reason age mark the red. Often mark red because the person did not get approval before building.
Okay.
And then the person now brings his plan. What a plan any will not be approvable. It will be approved. That's why we see I draw how to punish anybody. But every moment they approved, we will then enforce. Enforcement other day as regular and as frequent as we would like to, because it involves a lot of money. We have to hire the equipment, we need security agencies to come with us, and the logistic even regularly. So sometimes you wait until you know enough resources to tackle several at the same time. So, most times, one particular case I know on it, one guy that every day he will call you and be disturbing you. I'm on the contract. The next thing for the House of Assembly. Because when you have a problem, solve the local planning authority. My number, they are available on the internet and everywhere. Tell them they are not facing each other for chairman. Or when I am and then obviously him musical. And you need to live in court. So because when people just open their mouth and talk without responsibility or drama, because most of these people who are hard-working civil servants who are doing their best to secure the environment I'm on here,
okay, and before I pick a call for clarity's sake, something in talk matter. This in terms of like one man one certain time we see Kedin Dinabia a delimu painting doing on Aluna Vupanya doing a call or something like that. So I was like, you don't know before we engage in money, we need now for the person to feel our mark here, to feel our mark that repent stop work or something like that.
Every place one mark stop work. The man a habia. We may provide the because the law requires you not to approval. The approval this thing. They haven't had there for it. Most times all the engineers they be doing so.
Okay.
They now market stop work. The reason they notice but when you any reason the legitimate. Keep office will say maybe 14 days, then the next thing is to begin to think of how to bring the place down. Require bringing down.
Okay.
Otherwise, we can come down and arrest everybody on that site.
Okay, then often the person will tell you so when the Kunsi Amaka was in the statute.
Of course, you have in approval. Some of those approvals may have been given maybe in 2013 and so on and so forth.
Okay.
And you're probably there, so we don't have free. But there's a process now. We are trying to revive our portal, which makes it easy for every application for permit.
Okay.
To be such non-labor now, I can see it on my dashboard in any part of the state. And you can also begin any application for approval from anywhere in the world. And it has a process. If you pay, even Governor Yenwe, on a drop on a fair. And when you do, that's what comes out of every 12, 9 and Judas.
Yes.
If not Judas, one another project crowd can come in a Bible, see, but I can deal with it. So, marking is notice to come with whatever documents you have and evidence that you are the rightful owner and you have approval to do what you are doing.
Okay. All right. I can large you buying a 0706 538 1320.
Molly was 0808 487 2216 0808 487 2216.
Okay. Good afternoon. Can I find a Bisabo?
It's more Burundi as well.
Magani, go on.
Because I'm a part from nature. But precisely, we are talking of the Nanibo. So I want to know exactly how many feet from Gota before Nefens. But that place, if you say this Agota road, ring road.
Okay.
But that's Sakamori. That's maybe that so how many feet can you try in the sense
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
The right of way.
And then they are like you to number the chairman. You know, I keep on here that I'm
But if a man in Anambra State, which is where call Chairman Lina Anonia Adri in charge of Oka.
Okay.
Indeed in charge of Oka Capital Territory. Office filed just before
Development Authority.
Oka Capital Development Authority. So often couldn't get meet before the battle within the capital territory, which includes Nibo. So we want Oga each of the general office on a long free. So if you are a man like EJ speculate on what they are doing because they have their own law.
Okay. All right, so finally we're about to leave, but what is your final message for Anambra with regards to complying to the activities of the Physical Planning Board and the set out rules and regulations?
Well, even the member now can commissioner who's with the program. Ndị Anambra Governor Bia Kodezi Obodai Obia ka Nsukwu smart mega city because Anambra is one place abroad like other states in 2 or 3 urban areas. I know everybody by Imam Biji different course. So and he's using technology to make sure that things in the government, whether in the schools, in the hospital, road construction, it's a total package. Because if you just see Kabia for permit, we can show you in a road in my body. Open put on a residential area, blue gas plant, Tieba or Dabaro. So, Nayofa, Kanye Governor Kobudo Bima, only choice you have there for approval. Approval when you put it in juxtaposition with other states around us, I am one of the cheapest. But the reason to get that thing done is to make sure now, poultry next to your house and you'll be having noxious odors and so on and so forth. Gas plant, MSC, AGUC, Femina. Again, we recommend Obodo because there are lots of so-called layouts that are not government approved. So what they show the government approved because only government approved estates.
Okay.
Again, zones near scheme, private use, public use, residential, commercial, whatever. All those things are necessary. It may look tedious initially, but it's in the interest of the people. so biko nyere na anyị aka anyị achọghị ịbịa kutu ụlọ mmadụ mana anyị da-atụkwa egwu ikutu ụlọ chi nghọta wee anyị akụtu ya ịnwa nke ga-adagbu mmadụ anyị akụtu ya and one other thing m chọrọ ka use opportunity a kwue ụmụ mgbe anyị issue a directive na ebe ọbụla a na-alụ ụlọ that construction must stop by 7 p.m. and nobody is allowed to sleep in a building a na-alụ alụ because most times when the buildings collapse ọ na-abụ n'uchichi and then people then get killed. So now it's against the law to continue building in Anambra after 7 p.m. And the only developer that allows people to sleep in a process like an arena will have him, will hold him responsible for anything that happens.
Okay, thank you very much. And this is where we draw the curtain on Ask the Commissioner. Today, we'd like to thank Barrister Chike Madukwe, the Chairman of the Anambra State Physical Planning Board. Thank you, sir, for coming for Ask the Commissioner.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
All the minor was High Chief Doctor Lomefo, Commissioner of Makozina Anambra State. This is where Sunyokola and Memita Tatana say Dalu.
Dalu Mendebai. Lutakuwa ni ifenku maka jambo. Onye ọbụla mma onye nene jambo. Wakonya na emenegali jambo echi. Ndị igwe nyelu na ya aka, PGs nyelu na ya aka, ndị ụka nyelu na ya aka. Na-eme ka ụmụ anyị malụ. Maka ụfọdụ believe go na fe na-enego jambo na ọgafego. Mana a cancel result Southeast and Lagos because of technical problems. Nya emenegali ya. It's a lot of inconveniences. On behalf of JAMB, we say we are sorry.
Okay.
All the minor can was Chief Amuloni Nego Makais Mirani from the man.
Gido na one nke efifie wee na tu nke efifie otela ekwukwa nyiye ọzọ ụmụnne m onye poto n'ụtụtụ na-ekene Chukwu ikene Odenigbo gọvanọ Chukwuma Soludo n'ụwa ka ndị oti gasịrị n'ọrụ bụ ndị mara ife ekwe na akụ ndị be anyị kwenu nyame
Dano